Nichole Berlie. It is Monday, December 19th. This is NewsNation Rush Hour. Let's get right to our top story. The House January 6th committee recommending criminal charges against former President Trump and several others in its final public meeting today. That committee voting unanimously to refer 4 charges against the former president, who they say conspired to overturn the election. Now it's up to the Justice Department to decide whether or not to prosecute. NewsNation correspondent Kelly Meyer joining us live from Washington. Kelly, the committee issued a referral, but what actually comes next?
Well, Nichole, this may not have that much bite to it. Ultimately, it's up to the Department of Justice to decide whether or not to prosecute. Republicans here are calling this political theater, but this is historic. It marks the first time in history a former president is subject of a criminal referral by Congress.
In a rare move,
we believe that the evidence described by my colleagues today and assembled throughout our hearings warrants a criminal referral of former President Donald J. Trump, John Eastman, and others.
The January 6th panel investigating the attack at the Capitol, voting to refer potential criminal charges against former President Donald Trump and some associates.
Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass.
The committee accusing the former president of inciting an insurrection and 3 other federal crimes, sending them to the Justice Department, which has already appointed a special counsel looking at the January 6th attack and is also investigating the former president for his handling of presidential documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate.
He is unfit for any office.
The referrals bring to a close nearly 18 months of investigations into what the panel says was a concerted effort by the former president to overturn the results of the 2020 election, which he lost. Today, new video testimony from Trump's former White House communications director warning of how his voter fraud claims could damage his legacy.
He said something along the lines of, nobody will care about my legacy if I lose.
The final meeting falling 2 years to the day since former President Trump's first tweet urging his supporters to come to D.C. on January 6th for what he called a big protest, adding, quote, "will be wild."
We will stop the steal.
Trump writing on Truth Social ahead of the hearing, quote, "how much longer are Republicans and American patriots in general going to allow this to happen?" The committee, made up of 7 Democrats and 2 anti-Trump Republicans, has no authority to press criminal charges, and the Justice Department is under no obligation to follow through on the referrals. The committee squeezing in the public hearing in the final weeks before the end of the year and before House Republicans take control in the new Congress. Today, the January 6th panel recommending 4 Republicans to the House Ethics Committee for failing to comply with subpoenas. One of them, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona, bashing what he calls a, quote, Hollywood-backed committee that he says continues to waste resources and taxpayer money. By the end of September, the January 6th committee spent nearly $7.4 million on the investigation, similar to the amount spent at the end of the Benghazi committee investigation.
And NewsNation confirming today that House Republicans are planning to release their own 100-page rebuttal to the January 6th committee report later this week. Nichole.
All right, Kelly, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.